We're here today in Windsor at the Loading Bay Cafe for the Sevens pop-up record store, and we're also here to meet Tim Dorney for the second part of the Berkshire Blag interview series. Come on, let's get it on, let's go.
Hi, my name's Tim Dorney. I am the keyboard player in a band called Republica and was once in a band called Flowered Up, who were like the Southern Happy Mondays back in the day. And I'm here to talk about Windsor, which has been my home for many a year. I've been living in Windsor, well, I came to school in Windsor. I used to go to the boys' school. It was a grammar school back in those days. And then moved here when I was 18, and apart from like little stints in London, I haven't really left the place. I live right in the centre of town. It's got more of a village feel to it, but it's always had a great attitude towards music, and it's been a great place to grow up and have fun. Well, Windsor's always had quite a good little scene. There's been lots of little venues over the years. Like back in the 60s, there was the Ricky Tick down by the river, where the Stones and Hendrix and all that used to hang out and play. Then moving on from that, there was the, well, what's now called the Old Court, was originally the Arts Centre, and then it was the fire station, but it's now still a thriving arts centre with bands, not as many bands playing down there as we'd like, but getting there, getting better. There was also the Old Trout, which unfortunately now has been a Brown since the early 2000s. That saw many gigs. Notably a lot of Reading warm-ups, like the Pixies played there, and I think Nirvana played there, Oasis played there. It was all part of the gigging circuit, but unfortunately that got shut down. The pub scene's always been pretty good around here. The Court Jester back in the day, I used to play in a little band. Me and Johnny, the guitarist out of Republica, when we were 17, we just had a little band with a little porter studio, with me playing the keyboard and him playing the guitar and singing. We used to have a residency up at the Court Jester, which is now like the Queen Charlotte, I think it is, up in the cobbled streets. So there's always been a vibrant little scene going on, and just people throwing parties and DJing as well. It's always been a good place. When I started doing the music, I used to help out Andy Weatherall with his remixes and stuff, go and do a little bit of programming on those and that sort of thing. And even the old bands he used to be in, when I used to play down at like the Arts Centre as it was then, which is now the fire station. He had a band called A Fractured Touch where he used to do all his singing and that sort of thing. It's been quite a few like local bands over the years that have been really good. And then Mark Cooper's thing down at Bar 51, when he used to have like the Solid Gold and stuff, get DJs in down there. But it's always been a good little hotbed of like local bands, local DJs, good little area. Back in the day, I used to be in a band called Flowered Up. This was 1990 and about 92, I did it. We were like the Southern Happy Mondays. They were all a right bunch of Herberts from the Regent's Park estate up in North London. And we used to get into some proper old scrapes all the time. We were banned from numerous hotel chains for late night activities. We had a singer who used to have a big flower around his neck, 4 foot wide, and dance around on stage like a loon. He was like our Bez, by the name of Barry Mooncolt. He used to go up to all sorts of things. He used to build like nests, he used to call them, in hotel rooms out of mattresses and furniture. Douse your bag with like fire hoses in the middle of the night, so you'd be on tour and all your clothes would be soaking for the next 3 days. We'd have days off in Scotland where people would go and nick things out of freezers and we'd cook them up on fires, and Barry would nick the petrol and go and set fire to trees. So we sat in a field somewhere, a tree would go off over there, 10 minutes later another tree would go off over there. But he got banned from the Old Trout along with us. We did a really hot sweltery gig down there, and Barry decided to use the sink that they wash all the vegetables in the kitchen to take a naked bath, really, which the management were less than impressed with. So we were never invited back there, but that seemed to happen to a lot of places we've flowered up. We're still doing Republica. We did have 10 years off, but got back together again in 2010. And this year we've got a new album that I'm actually mastering with my good friend Streaky on Friday. We've got gigs every other weekend. We've got lots of little festivals and stuff up and down the country. We've just had Ready to Go used in the Captain Marvel trailer, which was used all over online and in cinemas and that sort of stuff, which is very nice indeed. But no, still going, still working away at it. New singles coming out soon. Lots of little festivals, just like it's a little cottage industry for us these days. So do it all out of my studio at home. It's all nice and easy. I've got a couple of other projects on the go at the moment. One of which I can't really talk about because we're trying to keep it quiet who's actually in it. But we're going under the name of Tin Gun. It's a couple of old friends of mine from other bands that we're getting together at the moment. We've got about 4 songs written so far and getting all that done. That's sort of similar to Republica, but with blokes singing and a bit more manly. And also went with another band called EMT, who I produced their last album and mixed it. And I just spent the day in the studio with them yesterday recording more vocals for their next album. So I'm sort of like the third wheel on that lot, but they're quite good. They just bring me the songs over, I tart them up, make them sound all nice and send them on their way into the world. Windsor's still a good place to be hanging out. There's good things coming along all the time. There's like the Hope, which is a great place. Like there's DJs, he has little bands on in the afternoon as well. That's a guy called Mark, he used to have the Red Lion and got turfed out of there where we used to have little festivals of an afternoon. Then there's the wonderful loading bay here, always good for a little event. But no, lots of little pop-up things happening. It's a good vibe, good vibey little town.